I would like to greet you and welcome you to today's lesson on Life Sciences, Grade 10, Term 2's content, meaning that we are on the support system in animals, meaning that we are only be focusing on what? On support system in animals only. So how will I conduct this lesson? I will firstly explain everything in English, the whole lesson for today, and then at the end of the lesson, I will try to use isiZulu and Sesotho to explain this content or this lesson of today. So I will first use English, since most of us we understand English, and for those who use other different languages, I will try to use those two types of languages, isiZulu and isiSotho. So in support system in animals, when we talk about a support system in animals, we talk about a skeleton which support a certain organism in order for it to be able to move, in order for it to be protected, When I talk about to be protected, I talk about the skeleton protects the internal organs, the most vital organs. For example, in humans or cows, a skeleton protects the internal organs, such as your heart, your liver, and other vital organs. Meaning that without a skeleton, other certain organisms won't be able to survive, because vital organs won't be supported. So it is very important for us to have a support system such as a skeleton. So firstly, we'll look at the hydrostatic skeleton, which is the first skeleton which we are introduced to. So when we talk about a hydrostatic skeleton, we talk about a skeleton which is fluid filled. Within its body, it has fluid, meaning that it does not have bones, which means its skeleton, it is not made up of of bones. I hope we understand each other. But it also has muscles. It also has muscles, but it does not have bones. Remember, when we talk about a hydro, when we say the term hydro in science, we talk about water, and hydrostatic skeleton. So hydrostatic skeleton has has advantages. The first advantage of an hydrostatic skeleton is that it does not need specialized support system. It does not need specialized support system. I hope you understand each other. It is not like other animals such as human beings and cows or mammals, which need a specialized system in order for survival. The first disadvantage of a hydrostatic skeleton is that these organisms are mostly found in aquatic environment and moist environment, meaning that these organisms cannot survive in dry or desert areas or desert environments, meaning that they need an aquatic place in order for survival, or a moist place, meaning that if a place has lot of rainfall, if a place has a lot of dams or rivers, meaning that you will find these organisms with this skeleton. This skeleton also limits its size, meaning that these organisms cannot overgrow their size, meaning that this type of skeleton limits the size of the of the organism. It also limits the speed or the movement of the of the organism, meaning that most of these organisms move very slowly. They are not fast, they are slow, meaning that this type of skeleton limits the their movement. We have the second type of skeleton, the exoskeleton. When we talk about an exoskeleton, can I page downwards for you to see these types of skeleton? When we talk about an exoskeleton, we talk about a skeleton which is exposed outside of the organism's body, which we say it's an external skeleton, meaning that their skeleton it is external. It is not inside of the body, but it is external, meaning that you can see it with your naked eyes. It is not internal, but external of their body. When we talk about these organisms, we talk about organisms such as such as crabs, snails, locusts, spiders, and other organisms, which consist of of an external skeleton. I hope we understand each other. What are the advantages of this skeleton or this type of skeleton? This skeleton, it supports or protects the internal organs of of those organisms, or it protects the tissues or organs of that organisms which are inside of that skeleton. And the other advantage is that muscles are attached from this external skeleton, meaning that when you see a crab or a snail, that external skeleton consists of of muscles, meaning that those so as we continue, so this skeleton also prevents drying out of the organism, meaning that it helps the organism from not drying out. Let's think of a snail. What will happen if we remove that external skeleton of a snail? Meaning that a snail will become dry, meaning that it will die. So these skeletons help organisms to not to dry out. Remember that. The other disadvantage, or the first disadvantage of an exoskeleton, is that this skeleton also limits the size of these organisms, meaning that this skeleton cannot carry larger bodies. If the body is very larger than the skeleton, that organism won't be able to survive, meaning that that skeleton won't be able to support that organism. It also limits its growth and also limits its speed, meaning that some of those organisms, or mostly of those organisms, are not very fast. I hope we're clear. Let's move to the third skeleton, which is an endoskeleton. Which is a what? Which is an endoskeleton. I know when I talk about an endoskeleton, everyone becomes very happy, because now we are talking about a skeleton which we all know about, but most of us have not seen this skeleton. You see? So when we talk about an endoskeleton, we talk about a skeleton which is found inside of the body or inside of the organism, meaning that their support system, it is found inside of their body, meaning that you cannot see it with your naked eyes as you look or when you look at that certain organism. Mostly these skeletons are made up of cartilages, and and bones and vertebral column mostly. These skeletons are made up of bones, cartilages, and a vertebral column. What is the advantage of this skeleton? This skeleton protects the vital organs of those organisms. Which organs are those? It is your heart, your lungs, your brain. It also gives support to your body. It also gives the space for attachment of muscles to allow movement. Let's say you don't have your ribs, your rib cage. What will happen to your heart, to your lungs, and to your brain? Sorry, not your brain, sorry. Your heart, your lungs. What will happen? Meaning that your lungs will only hang, they won't be supported. Meaning that your survival will be weak, meaning that you won't be able to survive. You will die. Because we have a skeleton, our heart and our lungs are protected, and so that they cannot just move in whatever way they want to. So that's the importance of an endoskeleton. I hope we are clear. So, and the disadvantage of an endoskeleton is that they are vulnerable to drying out, meaning that those organisms are very exposed to drying out. Meaning that let's look at our body. If you look at your body, when you are exposed to sunlight or to the sun, your body dries out very quickly. Or during winter, your body dries out very quickly. But when you look at snails and crabs, they are always wet or moist, or having a moist skin because of their skeleton, which is external. For us, an endoskeleton brings an advantage of drying out, meaning that you are exposed easily to the sun. I hope we are very clear. The first thing you should remember is that a skeleton is very vital for an organism to survive, because it protects the inner organs and the most vital organs. It gives support to to that organism to allow movement. Without a skeleton, most of the organisms won't be able to move. I hope you understand me. Look at birds. What if birds did not have a skeleton? Will they be able to fly? They won't be able to fly because there's no support system, meaning that their muscles won't be attached to somewhere, meaning that they will have floating muscles. Let's take this. Let's look at astronauts. When astronauts are outside of Earth, there's no force of gravity. You see, let's take the force of gravity which is found inside Earth, and the force of gravity which is not found outside Earth. You see, let's take it those. If you don't have a support system, meaning that you will have floating organs. But when you have a support system, you won't have floating organs. So that is the first part of a support system in animals. I hope everyone is very clear with skeletons. If you have any question, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Zygote Science Tutor Club, where we will be able to answer your questions if you have any, or just send us an email on Zygote Science Tutor Club gmail.com will answer your questions. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video. We will have part 2 of support system, where we'll be talking about the human skeleton. Please know, or go and study, or go and look at a textbook on the human skeleton, where you will look on the axial skeleton, where you look at your ribs, your skull, and your vertebral column only. Go and look on those pages. Make sure you look on those pages in order for you to be prepared. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, or have a great night if you are watching this video at night. Thank you very much. I hope to see you, if I could see you, or I don't know what to say, but thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless you.